Hello everyone, Intuitive Edge here. So tonight, let's take a look at these suspicious bomb packages that were sent out. We want to look at who is responsible and what's going on with this. Initially, when I heard about it, I was a little incredulous, and I just this close to the midterms, I half expect some goofy thing like this to happen. Trying to look at who benefits and all of that. But I'm going to set aside my own preconceived notions, and I want to look at what the cards have to say. It doesn't matter what my opinions are. What matters is the truth. And so I'm going to do my best to set that aside and just look at the facts as the cards portray them. So what is this about? Who's responsible? Will they be caught? And kind of what's going to come of this. So I've lit some candles, and I'm going to shuffle up the cards and get centered, and we'll be right back and get started. All right, so let's cut the deck. I shuffled up the cards, and let's take a look here. So the first is who's responsible, and next, will they be caught? And then kind of the outcome. Where's this heading? So initially off the bat with the Ace of Wands, it feels to me that this is one person as opposed to a group. Although, one person could have ties with groups of different kinds or ideologies, but it does feel like it is a pretty much just a singular individual. Does feel like they're I get that they're creative, but not like a really bright person. I get kind of like not a very high IQ, kind of a little bit not quite smart. What is that? Just a feeling of I just get a feeling like a not terribly bright, not like a genius type. I think that the Unabomber. Now I don't know the Unabomber. Some may remember that way back when. It was quite a few years ago. But that person eluded being caught, and he actually had quite a strategy to how he evaded being caught, and that to me shows somebody who has a higher IQ, somebody who's a little more got a lot going on in terms of their intellect. And I don't get that sense with this person. Not that they're dumb, not that they're somehow low IQ. I don't feel like this person is like on the level of like a Unabomber type. So they may have made mistakes along the way that could lead to them being caught more easily. So for what that's worth. Okay, moving on. So will they be caught? Now, with the Ten of Swords, this is like coming to an ending. This is a finality. So I do think that there's an end to this saga, so to speak. This person will be caught, looks like. When I turned this card over, this is like kind of, how is this going to end up? What's the outcome going to be? When I flipped the card over, immediately I just heard November. So I don't know if this is all going to be wrapped up by November. The person will be caught maybe in November, or somehow November was key to this case. Okay, moving on. So we're just keeping with the same question, getting a little bit more information on each. Back to the first question, who is responsible? So I've got the Seven of Pentacles. This is a card of reflecting. Something I forgot to mention before I drew the next row of cards um, I mentioned November, but having the Tower card reversed, this is a card of calamity, things falling apart, something figuratively blowing up, but it's like falling apart. And so I think the outcome of this, again, with that 10 of swords, with feeling like, yeah, they'll be caught, but it's this is like ending also. So I do think it's going to come to an end sometime in November. It'll be all over with. Okay, I just wanted to clear that up. Okay. So back to who's responsible again. I may get the next card on this because the Seven of Pentacles is like this card of reflection. Um, but I feel like there's something in there. I'm gonna wait till the next card on that. Moving on to this question. This is, will they be caught? Will this person be caught? How soon, kind of thing, if possible, to get that information. So I'm getting like a 2. This is the 5 of Swords. I'm getting like a 2. I don't know if that's 2 days. Something with the number 2. This is a card of the battle is over and you're kind of picking up the pieces of what's left. Okay, all right. Next card, outcome. Now, so we've got the Tower card, which is like calamity, things falling apart, and then this is like the 9 of Swords, like this is like despair, grief. So not the outcome is basically not ending well for this situation. Probably the person behind it. And we have the 8 of Pentacles reversed on top of the 7. I was going to see what if this card kind of rounded out this question a little bit and cleared things up. Interesting, we've got the 8 and the 7 both reversed. The 8 is about having something to working on something. 7 is like reflecting on what you've worked on. They kind of have a similar meaning, but they're not the same, of course. But it feels to me like this person, it feels like they had more targets in mind. I want to move to this question again. Will they be caught? Yes, absolutely. Probably quite soon. Outcome is like the 9 of Wands is like waiting, waiting and watching, and it's just basically going to unfold with those 2 kind of calamity cards. But there's something in my mind. There's something weird about this whole case, and that is if this person isn't very like genius level smart, how did they know how to find the addresses of some pretty prominent people that their addresses aren't exactly out there? It's not the easiest thing to find. And why would he target those people? And it does feel like there were more people on the list that maybe didn't get packages sent to them. And why did none of these packages go off? So I may pause here and do another spread and draw again, because I've got a lot more questions on this, and I don't know. I mean, I've got some answers that seem pretty clear, that the person will be caught, and it's going to be probably November when this will be wrapped up. That's about it. That's about all the clarity I've gotten on this. But as to why and why the people were targeted that were targeted, well, let's leave that here for now, and I'll be right back. All right, so I'm going to do a different spread, and we're going to ask a series of 5 questions that will hopefully answer a lot more questions that I have, and see if we can get any more clarity as to what this situation is all about and what's really going on. So let's shuffle this up. We're going to look at, we're going to do a 5-card spread. We're just going to look at, wow. Oops. Hold on just a second. All right, so I shuffled up the cards. Let's cut the deck. So we're going to look at this. Why were these bombs sent to prominent Democrats? Like, why were they the target, okay? Interesting. We have the Judgment card. It's a good kitty in this deck. The Judgment card is about a day of reckoning. It's about taking stock of things at the end of your life, looking back, reflecting. It's about kind of a day of reckoning. I think that with this being reversed, that this person was wanting to exact his own measure of judgment and bring about his own day of reckoning, so to speak. Oops. Next card. Okay. Next card. Why didn't the bombs explode as intended, if that was the intent? Now we have, you know, what I'm getting is like just something not being connected properly. I'm seeing like a component, that, yeah, there's not a good connection. I don't know if the wires weren't right, or something in it was not connected properly. I think it had to do with the way they were built, that there was something that just wasn't connected right. And again, I have no idea what that is. I'm not a bomb maker. I don't know that kind of stuff. But just something about the wiring or the components themselves that were either faulty or not working properly. Okay, what was the purpose? Yeah, again, this is that aggressive sky tone. This is an aggressive energy, similar in some ways to this feeling I got over here of wanting to exact your own measure of judgment on something. This is the same feeling, having something within your reach that you want to do, and it's an aggressive energy, especially on the reversal. It's just an unfriendly, aggressive energy, just of an unfriendly intent. Okay, sorry for that buzzing interruption there. So next card, kind of hidden. What's going on behind the scenes that we don't know? And we've got the 5 of C. This is a card of kind of, this is like things not going as planned. This is like the imagery of this card is this cat that falls in a pool, and cats hate getting wet. But it's like this feeling, things just not going as planned. It does feel like there's more targets. And And again, I felt that with the last reading we just did too. That this wasn't just, there was more intended, um, which is weird because there was a lot that was sent out. It was like a mass production thing of bombs or whatever. That anyway. But it does feel like there was more intended. There was more to the intent, more people intended. So what do we need to know? Well, that's an interesting card to have on that position. The Earth King reversed is one of the most devious cards that you can get when it's reversed. When it's upright, it's fine. It's a strong leader. But Earth King reversed is somebody who is very crafty, conniving, greedy, underhanded, devious. You could add all kinds of adjectives to that. Not a nice energy at all. And that's on the position of what do we need to know? So it could be that there are elements that are behind this that are very, very unfriendly, very devious, very almost like a tactical. So I don't know if the person that is kind of behind all of this, if they're being influenced by somebody more devious, because I kind of got this feeling in the other spread we did that the person doing this is kind of not really all together upstairs, like they're just not quite real bright. So I don't know if they're being used or that there's somebody else maybe influencing them. And that's what we need to know, is that this is almost like a sinister feel when you get the Earth King reverse. It's really dark, devious kind of energy. Let's see what we have underneath this. This is like partnering up with somebody, trying to bring two sides together. That's weird. Something about partnering with someone. So possibly this person, and you would think, at least I would think, that somebody that had undertaken something of this magnitude would probably not be working alone. Although when it's all said and done, it's probably going to be one person that takes the fall, whether or not there were other people that were involved influencing or not. But I feel like, okay, I'm just going to see if I can, I just see somebody, trying to get a picture of this person, it's a male energy, kind of a younger, not a real old person, kind of a younger, I would say 30s, 40s, but just, I don't know. I don't know if this answered my questions or not. I've got a ton of questions because this to me is so suspicious and so bizarre, and especially to happen right before the midterms. I mean, honestly, I was like, this is crazy, and it's probably just a false flag, and their bombs probably aren't even real. And I had to just set all that aside. It does look like there is something to this story. It's not completely fake. Which is kind of what I was thinking at the beginning. It's like, oh, this is silly, whatever this is. Other than there's something with the bombs that wasn't made right, or the component wasn't working right. That's one thing I get there. But I guess I'll leave that here. We can let this go. I don't know. This story's weird to me, you guys. I have to be honest. So I don't know. I hope this helps. And they'll probably wrap it up as it looks from the cards. It'll be wrapped up probably in the next few weeks into November. All right. Hope you're having a good night. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you next time. Intuitive Edge signing out.